KALW.
The Burning Man community is guided by the 10 principles, one of which is radical inclusion. But what does that mean for people with physical impediments? How do they get around? Because Black Rock City is massive. It's 5 miles wide, and much of the big art is placed several miles from where people camp. It can be exhausting in the best of circumstances. Now, imagine you're in a wheelchair or on crutches or just can't walk very far. Enter this woman, sitting cross-legged on a big green turtle with googly eyes. That's her wheelchair. So can you introduce yourself?
I'm Rat Lady. I'm 64. I will be a great-grandmother next month. And this is what I do.
What she does is run mobility camp.
We're probably about 80% mobility impaired for one reason or another, and 20% or less able-bodied.
Their motto is radical inclusion by radical accessibility, and that's why they're centrally located in the heart of Center Camp.
This cuts down the distances we have to travel, and that makes a big difference.
And now the name Rat Lady.
I had service rats for 12 years.
Wow. This is her 9th year here.
And my 7th year, at least partially, leading the camp.
And what did you find when you got here the first time?
Oh, I knew immediately this was home.
Why?
My generation, we set out to change the world, and we did. But at some point, it took a sharp right turn and went off in a completely different direction. And Black Rock City is where we kind of hoped the world would be by now. And so, yeah, it was absolutely home, and that was immediate, and there was no question. And so my passion is that, mobility camp is out there when people are looking. We don't do it for you. We make it possible for you to do it.
What also makes it possible is that everyone who camps with mobility has to work 4 or 5 shifts throughout the week.
My name is Katie the Book Fairy.
The Book Fairy.
She is our desk lead, the magic woman at the desk.
My daughter brought me 8 years ago to Burning Man. I would not have come as a 63-year-old grandma on crutches without the knowledge that mobility camp existed.
In the default world, she's a librarian. Out here, she puts those skills to work running the camp's information desk, where she assists people with mobility issues, including newly acquired ones.
If you're one of those unfortunate people on the first night of the burn to trip over a tent peg and break your ankle, and you're wondering, what the hell am I going to do now?
Katie and Mobility Camp are here to help.
We have wheelchairs, we have crutches, we have walkers, we have knee scooters that we pass out.
Rat Lady introduces me to one more person, part of the camp's able-bodied minority.
This is Captain Billy.
Hi, Captain Billy. Good to meet you.
He has the wheelchair lift bus.
Billy thinks of himself as the MTA, the Mobility Transit Authority.
Good morning.
Early one morning, I catch a ride with him, Rat Lady, and a few of their campmates to Burning Man's, wait for it, pop-up airport.
Out at the airport, they gift rides every day. If you've never seen the city from that perspective, it's amazing. And it's especially amazing for those of us that normally see the city from about 3 feet above the ground.
Yeah.
Here we are at the terminal. Departures to your right.
Soon, I find myself in a 4-seater plane with Captain Billy, one of his campmates, and our volunteer pilot, Paul.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Black Ops, Skyline 5818 Bravo, 1199, departing for the scenic. Will do.
That's my camp right there, right near all that fluorescent stuff, right across the street.
The temple is quite a structure, seeing it from up here.
Yeah, bigger than it looks.
We're coming up on some really interesting rocks here on the right.
Wow.
36 Golf, taxiing from Princples to 23 right. So we're going to leave the city and go in for a landing.
For Rat Lady, like so many people who make this event happen, Burning Man is a lot more than a week-long party in the desert.
It takes up a big portion of my time, even, the other 50 weeks a year. or actually 49 because I'm out here for almost 3 weeks. Then we will go back to Reno and spend 2 days unloading everything into storage.
So as people with disabilities, how do you do that?
There's always a workaround. You get as creative with solutions for whatever your impairment is and how you get around it as you do with anything else at Burning Man.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And it's true. All around, there are jerry-rigged art cars, makeshift yurts, costumes held together with hot glue and safety pins. This is a community of MacGyvers, finding solutions and workarounds for all kinds of challenges. For some, that requires more perseverance, more ingenuity, and more effort. One thing that's shared is the will to find a way. I guess that's what it takes to construct a temporary city in the middle of the desert, and then make it disappear.